here today for you more excitement. We had a long time. But I love celebrating rock stars, and Christine, thank you so much for allowing me to come and so for your passion and creativity that gives us more permission to create your own success. Oh, my God. So before we get started, I want us to all remember for a long time. I'm going to try all right, so what you do this? What you brush your now this thumb, your left thumb on top of my left knee. If your right thumb is on top of your right knee, and if you're like this, just keep going, baby. Okay. So I need a real true left and true right. So where am I? My right. Okay, so I'm gonna have you guys go first. Okay. So I want you to take your heel right side. Okay. And try your right hand over your left. Like this. Twist down.
And then pull up. And then your right leg over your left leg, either at your knee or at your ankle, it doesn't matter. Okay, pause, freeze. Okay, my lefties, the same but different. Ready? Frankenstein, left over right, twist down, pull up, and then left over right, either at your ankle or your knee. So I'm 100% fake Italian, which means I just speak with my hands. So I'm gonna have to let go of my hands to tell you how to do this, okay? So just keep pause, freeze, okay? So what this does is actually activates both hemispheres of the brain, our left hemisphere and our right hemisphere. It actually, we have white matter between the brains, it's called the corpus callosum, and that's activating that bridge between our brains, which is really fascinating. So this is great for helping us retain information. It's also great if you're having like your brain is like real zingy at night. I'm sure none of you go to bed with like a brain that's active, but guess what? You can use this at night to help you the brain. Yes, so juicy, okay? And now the other thing that this does is really great is that I'm gonna bring you up to speed so it doesn't look like these people are looking weird. It's a social experiment. Do you want to be a part of it? Just kidding. Go ahead, crouch your hands like this real quick. All right, we're doing the whole brain hookup. So take your right hand like this and go over your left like this, twist down, and then twist up like this, and then put your right leg over your left at your ankle or at your knee. And so what this also does is, you know how you have like those moments where you're like, oh, something's on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember. It's like, oh, what is her name? What is her name? What is her name? You know what? If you hook up, the information will come really quickly. And to prove this, we were on our set one day and one of my production guys was like looking up something. He's like, I'll just Google it. I'm like, no, it's on the tip of my tongue. And I'm like, whoop. And he's Googling, I beat Google. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, that's because you cheated and you used your body. And I was like, ah. Anyways, so okay. So go ahead and unhook your legs, unhook your feet. Now go ahead and hold like this. So this will actually help you retain more information today because we want more information, yes? All right, so go ahead and hold like this, and then I'll tell you when to unhold, okay? So, so like she said, I'm a business success therapist, and so people are like, what does that mean? But that just means I love helping people step out of their old beliefs and into their new possibilities, and absolutely love what I do. So after my master's degree in counseling, I went on and opened up a large mental health counseling practice. Okay, you guys can go ahead and unhook now. And eventually went owner independent. And so that gave me the time freedom. We generated millions of dollars in that company. And then that gave me the ability to kind of do what I feel called to do. That was a passion project. I kind of did things backwards. Normally you do your passion project after or whatever, but that was really truly my passion project. We opened a counseling practice. We started seeing children as young as age 2, adolescents, adults that experienced trauma, sexual abuse, physical abuse, witnessing domestic violence, homicide, suicide, pretty much anything that you could imagine that was traumatic, right? And then along came some downloads that I received around just what I feel called to do. And so that's when talking with Teri came to me, and that's given me a path, and that's why I'm here in front of you today. So I wish I could stand up here and say that I've always been confident, but that was not my story. I grew up with this belief system that I was not enough. You know, I was told things like, Teri, you're never going to amount to anything, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're a nobody. And when you hear those long enough, right, Now, the complexity of this is that when I was in second grade, they learned that I had a learning disability, and I didn't fit into any box. So I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and then I had a speech impediment. And so I got held back in second grade. So not only did I hear this from my family, okay, I also heard it when you go to school in a small town in Kansas, you go, your second graders become third graders, and you still stay a second grader. So I heard it on the playground, and it wasn't until my senior year where I felt like, okay, I could step into myself because they were no longer with me, right? But I had taken on this identity. I took on this story that didn't even belong to me, right? And so it wasn't until I did pretty much years of therapy and all these other like holistic modalities and just I have tried everything, let me tell you. And it wasn't until I got really clean and clear for myself that I was like, okay, I got it, right? And so many of us in this room have a limiting belief that's not serving us. It's actually holding us back, personally or professionally. Some of us know that we're addicted to self-sabotage. We'll get somewhere close and they were like, yeah, right? None of you though, right? For sure. And most of us in this room know that something isn't working. Otherwise, we'd have everything that we've ever dreamt of. And all of us want more money, more clients, more freedom, more shoes. Oh, that's just me. And most importantly, more impact. Yes. How many of you in this room want to have and create more impact? Okay, everyone else can leave. Oh, no, just kidding. Well, we want to create an impact, right? Most of you are business owners, right? And the business owners in here like know in their heart of hearts that they have like this passion inside. By a show of hands, how many of you know in your heart of hearts that you're meant for something more, something greater, something bigger? Yes? Oh, good. Yay, I'm in the right room. Fantastic. Oh, she is too. She's like, yeah, me too. Sign me up. So we all have this piece, but here's the thing: in the thousands and thousands of people that I've worked with over the years, I have found that the number one mistake that we make is our mindset. It impacts every single aspect of our lives. You want to know, don't you? Write this down. Write this down. It's our mindset. It's our mindset. It's our mindset because it has a direct impact on every single thing that comes into our lives, right? Even this morning, and I'm trying to figure out how I could tie this story in this morning. So we're going to see. We're just going to see how it goes today. Because mindset has a direct impact on the relationships, the quality of our relationships, the choices we make in business. How do we scale our business? Just everything, right? And so when is the best time for change? When is the best? Yes, it is now. So you have in front of you a now handout there. Today, what I'm going to promise to you is I'm going to give you some simple, proven, highly effective tools and strategies. And these tools and strategies you can immediately start using today. Yay? Yes? As long as you pinky promise me that you're going to use them, okay? Because they work if you use them, but I guarantee they will not work if you do not use them, okay? Yes? Okay. You guys may be my favorite audience because you guys are going to play full out today. Yes?
Yes.
Perfect. I love this. Okay. And at the end of my talk, I will have an opportunity for us to connect further if it resonates, okay? All right, so let's dive in. N-O-W. N stands for no more. No more doing it the hard way, no more self-sabotage, no more getting stuck in the muck, what I call, right? And no more self-sabotage. So all of us are familiar with the iceberg, right? The iceberg says that, 10% of what we see of the iceberg is above the water, 90% is below the surface. So if we compare that to our brain, 10% is conscious thoughts, whatever thought you're thinking right now, conscious, 90% is unconscious, okay? Now, Dr. Joe Dispenza says that 90% of those thoughts are negative. And so we keep programming in the unconscious thoughts. So we're always curious, okay, why am I having the same behaviors, the same actions, because we keep doing it over and over and over again. We've created these neural pathways in the brain that have gotten used over and over and over again, and we've strengthened those. And our unconscious does not want to be wrong, right? Our unconscious is the filter that everything comes into for us to make choices based in our lives. That information gets created by the first 7 years of our life, okay? Now, how many of you, you said you were a financial advisor, right? How often do you go down to the second grade, the school nearby and go to the second graders and say, what kind of choices should I make in the financial world? We don't do that, do we? Why? Right. But in a lot of times, we are consulting our 7-year-old brain on the choices that we're making today, right? It's pretty wild to think about it that way. So the National Science Foundation says that we have anywhere from 50 to 60,000 thoughts, and only 2,000 of those are conscious thoughts. So what does that tell us about the things that we're creating, right? So whether it's the stories that we tell ourselves or it's the stories that other people tell ourselves, it has a direct impact. Now, I'd love to show you the energetics of our thoughts. Okay, so I need a volunteer, preferably someone. How tall are you?
Very short.
Oh, yay. Oh, are you a fun size? No, perfect. I love fun size people. Come on. Come on. I was like, come on up. Come on up. I know, I love it. Well, I'm like, I need like a person who's like 5'4" or shorter. But see, I identify as a tall person, so I feel like I'm 5'6", solid. But that's really not true. I'm 5'2" in real life.
I'm 5 on the shot.
See, I feel like a giant.
Exactly.
Anyways, okay. So, can you take off your watch for me, please? Okay. How many of you? And you can just set it down there. Otherwise, I steal it, and it's just weird and awkward. And so, how many of you are familiar with kinesiology or muscle testing? Awesome. Perfect. So, what this is essentially your body can never lie. Your brain can lie, okay, but your body can never lie. Now, I know there's probably some parents in here, so if you ever want to test your children, great technique, okay? All right, so I'm going to have you have not had any injuries on shoulder, elbows, or hands, have you? Okay, so what I'm going to do, oh, look at you. I think you've done this. Have you done this before?
The leaning forward.
I'm not going to do leaning, but I'm just going to do the arm one.
Nice.
Okay. Oh, look at you. You know the sweet sauce. I love it. So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to, what month were you born in?
January.
So we're gonna just test and make. So we're gonna test her to see her truths and truths and falsehoods. All right. So go ahead, and I'm just gonna resist against you about this much. So go ahead and resist. Meet my resistance. Okay. Perfect. You got it. Okay. Perfect. There you go. There you go. Oh, I feel so good. Okay. Right. So say truth. I was born in January.
I was born in January.
Okay. And resist. Okay. Perfect. Now say truth. I was born in March.
I was born in March.
Okay, resist. Okay, feel the difference? Okay, do you guys see the difference? Strong, weak. Okay, so I want you to think about, do you have a project or something that's coming up that you're working on?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to think about that project or whatever you're working on. I want you to think to yourself, like, I can't do this. There's no way I can do this. I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they put me in this position. What are they thinking? I can't do this. Ready? And go ahead and tilt your head and close your eyes.
And I'm just think that I can't do this.
Yeah, just say it out loud. I can't do this. I can't do this.
I can't do this. I can't do this.
Okay, resist. Okay. All right, now I want you to think about that project and be like, I can. I got this. I got this. I'm super excited. I can do this. All right, ready?
I got this. I'm super excited.
Okay, resist. Okay, perfect. So when we tell ourselves we can do something or we can't do something, we are actually activating all the cells in our bodies, not only in our bodies, but we're also projecting it out, right? That was really quick, right? How fast did we switch that, right? But we're also talking about the unconscious, right? So I want you to think about, so that's when you're actually, saying it out loud. But now I want you to think about a failure, something that you just like totally messed up. Like either just a failure. You're not gonna say it out loud. So whatever you feel like you failed at, or you made a mistake, or
okay.
You got one? Okay, okay. Let me get another one because I'm just kidding. You're too perfect. It doesn't have to be significant. It's just a failure. Okay, got one? All right. Yeah. We're not gonna share it out loud. Okay, here we go. Ready? Okay, resist. I want you resist. Okay, ready? Resist. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, now I want you to think about something that you did and you're like, oh my gosh, it was a proud moment. Either a mom moment, a proud spouse moment, a proud employee moment, a proud business owner moment, like whatever that moment was. Like, yeah, I nailed that. That felt good. Okay, go ahead. And resist. Okay, do you see that? So we're living in the past. Oh gosh, you're strong, sorry. Whether we're living in the past, okay, thinking about our successes, our failures, or we're thinking about it now, right? Or what we're speaking, all has energetic power over how we're showing up, right? So when we come to networking events, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, our energy, but we have this energy that we're putting out, right? All right, let's do one more because I think this is so important right now. And I've really just, I want to demonstrate the power of this, okay? Because I feel like in the business world, and I'm going to be a little spicy here by saying, I think that as entrepreneurs, we're really great at cheerleading for ourselves, but when we're really not so great at cheerleading for others. In all fairness, if you guys can relate to this, just nod because I feel like I'm on spicy grounds here. And that is like, if I see your accomplishments, we're like, yay, good job. And then inside we're like, I can't believe she did that. Like, how did she do that? What do I need to do to get there, right? We do that, don't we? So I want to show you something, okay? I want you to turn around and close your eyes. You're not going to watch this, okay? So I want you guys all to face her and think these thoughts, but don't say anything out loud, okay? And do this. I want you to do that towards her, okay? Okay. Everyone, you got it? You got it? Okay, ready? Okay, resist. Okay. Now I want you to think these thoughts and send those messages to her. Okay? Ready? Everyone? And resist. Okay. You guys do the first one. Do the first one that I told you. Ready?
Oh, sorry.
All right, resist. You guys are so powerful. All right, ready? Resist. Okay. Now I want you guys to do the other one. Okay. And resist. Now I want to do this. No, it gets even better. Watch this. Can I come around here? I'm going to identify you right here. What is your name? That's okay. Can stand up for a second. I want you to face her. I want you to take your right hand. I want you like this. Okay, I want you to resist against me. Here, I'm going to have you take your beautiful watch off. Sorry. Wait, I love that. I want to steal that one. Just kidding. That band's fun. Okay, ready? Do that again. Throw. Ready? Nope. Down. Down. Now I want you to resist. Okay. Now I want you to thumbs up her and resist. What does that mean, folks? What does that mean? So here's the thing. Go ahead and sit down. Thank you for volunteering. Here's the thing is when we are saying negative things to people, we're making ourselves weak. Is that like super juicy or what? Okay, it's delicious. But when we're speaking great thoughts to you and really meaning them and really in alignment, not only does it make her strong, it makes us strong. And I think that's really powerful energy, right? All right, I have a little gift for you, but it's back in that little box. So grab me afterwards, and I'll get you a little gift.
Thank
Okay,
you.
You're welcome. Let's give her a hand. Thank you. All right. So whether we're telling ourselves the stories or other people. Now I have a really silly story. I was driving my teenage daughter to yet another school event with some of her friends, and as I was driving, I'm like eavesdropping on the conversation, like any good parent would, right? Right? Okay, come on, you guys, you lean back, right? Anyways, and I'm gonna try to, impersonate what I heard in the back seat. One of the girls says, "I absolutely hate rollerblading. I wouldn't even try it." And my rollerblading, I wouldn't even try it. And then my daughter says, "You mean you've never tried it?" Well, no. And then my daughter goes, "Well, how do you know you would hate it?" "Oh, I just know." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I got this idea and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a little experiment. I love doing experiments in my life. And so I invited the girls over for dinner, but not just any dinner, a mystery dinner. So for each course, they would get a blindfold, they would guess what it was, and then they would remove their blindfold for the big reveal. So various foods for each course, asparagus, beef jerky, calamari, and wait for it, Spam. Now I fried it up real good, just like back home in Kansas, okay? And the girls went wild over the Spam. They're like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing. One of the girls thought it was bacon. Just for the record, that was not my daughter, okay? Anyways, so they're like going wild over the bacon or over the Spam. They're like, it's so delicious. Oh my gosh, I love this one. This is my favorite one so far. They removed their blindfolds and they freaked out. They went running to the trash can saying, I'm going to hurl. I can't believe you did that to us, Teri. You're a horrible being. And I'm like, wait, what? What just happened? Here, before you guys, at the beginning of your tasting it, you guys loved it. What happened? You know what was so interesting is that they said, well, that was before we knew it was Spam. Now, for the record, out of the 4 girls, my daughter was the only one who had previous experience with Spam. Everybody else had no experience with Spam. And so what was fascinating is that even with their own empirical evidence, they allowed their brains to override their curiosity and close down all of the information around that experience. Is that not wild? Still to this day, they think Spam is the most disgusting thing that they've ever had. Isn't this bad? I'm going to do a part 2 because they've never seen Spam. So I'm going to do a visual one and see what the experience is because they don't know what it looks like. So of course I'll make it pretty. But so those are other people's stories that have dictated. Now, okay, I understand that maybe not everyone's a big fan of Spam. The point being is that those stories do not belong to those girls. How many of us in this world are dictating our lives, our behaviors, our actions, our beliefs by somebody else? And I can say, oh my gosh, you're doing such a great job. I love what you've done. What will happen? She'll say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm found out. Like I'm the biggest imposter. Oh my gosh, why don't, no, right? We do things like this all of our time. And it's not even our stories. Not even our stories that we're telling ourselves, right? Now, so many of us are familiar with the fear, right? What does fear stand for? False evidence appearing real, yes. But in the Spam world, we call it the reef. So it's real evidence appearing false. It's real evidence appearing false because it's real evidence. And we're in this really powerful time of the world where this energy is coming in like crazy and it's making us wake up. So I believe that there used to be used to be a mirror over here, and it'd be like, you know what? Am I going to work on myself? And I'm like, look in the mirror, and I'm like, oh gosh, no, I don't need to look at my stuff. I don't need to deal with my stuff, right? I just thank you. No, next day, right? I'm going to go back to Netflix, right? But what's happened energetic on the planet is that the mirror has moved over here, and we wonder why everyone's going a little mad these days. Everyone is looking at their stuff. Everyone's being forced to look at their stuff. Why? Because we're purging the negativity. We're purging the old. We're purging the old energetics. We're purging all of this. Now, in my belief system, I believe, Teri lives in a little magical world here. I believe there's like this big giant vacuum cleaner on top of the world. It's a magical vacuum cleaner. And it started it's pulling up all the garbage. It's pulling up all the negative beliefs. It's pulling up all the stuff, right? And somehow it's a magical vacuum cleaner. And it's like, and it's doing its job. And I do believe that it comes down either in fairy dust or maybe manure. I don't know. But either one, we are here to grow through it, right? And so this is here to serve us, right? And so we're all taking a look at. So I want you to, on your paper, I want you to write down, what are those things that are coming up for you? What are those things that you're working through? What's the mirror for you? What's reflecting back right now for you? What are you working through personally? I want you to just identify 1 or 2 things. What is that piece for you? That could be a negative belief that, I always say that there's top 5 blocks. That's the limiting beliefs about ourselves, or others. That's the imposter syndrome, self-sabotage, getting stuck in fear, or even getting stuck in overwhelm. But there's stories around those top 5 blocks that are impacting our stories. It's impacting how we show up. So I want to do this. Can we all be vulnerable? Because I am really on this. I'm happy to talk to anyone who wants to later on, but about a year ago, I went through the dark night of the soul, and I'm not joking. The best metaphor that I can give to this without going into details is like I was out swimming in the ocean, minding my own business, and a shark came up, and I like ducked the shark, and I'm like, not today, shark, got bigger things to do. Then I was like, I better get to safety, so I went to the shallow end of the ocean, and then wouldn't you know it, a crocodile came up, and I'm pretty sure I was wearing a chunky necklace or something, and death thrashed me down. I fight back this crocodile, and I'm like, whew, I get out. I take 2 steps out onto the sandy beach, and wouldn't you know it, it's quicksand. I start to fall into the quicksand, but I'm like, not today's quicksand. I got bigger things to do. I get out of the quicksand, I dust myself off, and there's this beautiful horizon. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Readjust, Teri, you got this. And I march on out. Mack truck hits me. All right. And so I'm pretty certain I have broken everybody. This is really just a metaphor, Kelly. I'm okay. Okay, just, but I'm pretty sure that I broke every single bone in my body. But don't you worry, I got my wheelchair and I'm just minding my own business, you know. And all of a sudden, a steamroller flattened me. But I'm not today. Steamroller, I got bigger things to do. So I went. Have you ever seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit? He like blows himself back up. So I blow myself back up, and I think I gained 2 more inches just to be saying. But it was this time of my life where I've just seen everything in a different way. You know, some people will say like it's stepping out of the matrix, right? And so I think all of that helped me see a new way of living and a new way of doing. And so I'm going to invite us to be vulnerable. And in this path, I realize that we are so about ourselves in the sense that we don't know that we don't want to open up to anyone. So we're going to do something that's going to be allowing people to be vulnerable, okay? I want you to pair up just with the person next to you. I want you to take a minute to kind of share. What's that one thing that you're working through? Because I guarantee you, you're not alone. And I guarantee you there's other people that are going to support you. Yes? All right, I'm going to give you about a minute. Go ahead and share with someone. You can join us too, Christine. Okay. But that's great. That's a great place to be because you're facing the mirror. You're facing your mirrors. And it may not even be a fear, right? Like it may just be like an awareness of like, what do I do to get to stay curious?
Yes.
I'll text some energy questions here and it'll apply to you. Love it. Love it.
Still, how's this gonna work?
Yeah. Yeah. You're seeing behind the curtain. Especially in Hawaii, like it's really. I learned a whole bunch of. We called Spam to see if they would sponsor me.
Oh.
They don't do any sponsorships. They do like outreach, like things like that. But I always ask because they do like a whole bunch of other like non-philanthropic, but they don't do sponsorships for anyone or anything. So, but we reached out. I always reach out to people to ask that. All right. So I hope you guys were able to share something that resonated. And I'm going to invite us. I'm going to call our attention back. I didn't bring my bell today. So I'm going to invite us to start having these conversations because if we start to take off the mask and take off that blindfold that we've been having, we can really deepen some relationships and we can start to peel back that need to be perfect, that need to have everything put together and show up like we're like whatever. And I know that story because I used to be that story, right? So So thank you for doing that. So, this is great information, Teri, but what do we do with it? So when we have negative thoughts that go in our brain, what happens is it activates the reticular activating system. That part of the brain is always scanning our environment to find out information. So negative thoughts will find negative evidence. It's kind of like our internal Google machine. So whatever we type into Google, we will find. If I type in a purple elephant, I'm going to find a purple elephant. The brain is the same way. And so negative or positive thoughts will find positive evidence all day long. And so where are we spending our time and energy and resources? So negative thoughts come in. What they do is find the evidence. The evidence will support whatever belief system that we believe true to be about ourselves. Belief systems, in my opinion, can be rolled down to I'm not blank enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not competent enough. I'm not equipped enough. I'm not blah, blah, blah enough, right? And so let's stop the insanity. So when the thought comes in, I want you to do this. So write this on your paper. It goes like this. Interesting point of view that I have this interesting point of view. And I'm going to repeat that. Interesting point of view that I have this interesting point of view. Essentially what this does is it goes in like this, and I want you to put a 3x behind it because you're going to say it 3 times. So interesting point of view that I have this interesting point of view, interesting point of view that I have this interesting point of view. And it actually blocks it from going in, and then it allows us to create awareness to it. And the more you do this, it starts to shape that unconscious into conscious. One of my clients started using just this one tool, and so she was in sales, and she wasn't closing sales. When she started practicing with this, she started opening herself up to more possibilities, and she ended up closing 7 clients in 1 week, which equaled $37,000, which not a bad week, right? And she's like, "Thank you, I'll take more of that," right? So when you say this, it cancels it out, and then what I'm going to invite you to say afterwards is what else is possible. That starts to open ourselves back up to the possibilities again. That starts to open up this energy, and our brain starts to open up to curiosity and to possibilities, which becomes really stinking. Gregory, say it. Juicy. I'm just kidding. All right. So here's the thing. I want you playing with this. Okay. We have about 48,000 unconscious thoughts a day. So I'm just saying, what if you started doing this like 50 times a day? Just notice what happens. I'm going to encourage you to teach your spouse, significant other, children, adult children, young children, neighbor, mentors, this, and so they can help you catch you when you're in your negative story and helping to break that cycle and start creating a new belief system. Because guess what? We start to create a new belief system, and we start to create and fire those neural pathways. We actually start to lay the foundation of that story in a more powerful way. Yes or yes? Cool. Love it. Okay. So we're going to go into O. O is for open to receive. And I'm going to pull, tell me your name again. Samantha, I'm going to have you come up because I do not have a height requirement on this exercise. But I will say this, is that and I'm going to speak for women, for me, is that we are excellent givers. Give. Now, I'm sure men are excellent givers too, okay? But that's on you guys, right? But we are horrible, terrible receivers. We are. We've been trained to be horrible receivers. Today, no more. Okay. So, did you ever play sports? Where did my little? Okay, I had a little pink ball up here. Did anyone see my little pink ball? You know what? Will you look inside that box? Maybe I didn't pull it out. Right, like on the side. It's like it's a loose. Oh, they're perfect. That pink one. That will work. That'll work. Oh, sorry. No, you're good. Thank you. Okay. I know this is super basic, okay, so basic, but just play along with me for a second, okay? All right, so I want you to catch this ball and throw it back to me, but do not drop it, okay? Okay, promise? Okay. All right, so this is how energy works, and I know this is super elementary style, okay, but this is how energy works. There's a give and a receive, a give and a receive, a give and a receive. She dropped it, not me. I'm just kidding. But what happens when I stopped receiving? It stopped the energy flow. It stops. This could be money. This could be ideas. This could be resources. This can be anything. When we stop receiving, we shut off the energy of it. Okay? I do have a thank you so much. I do have a little special gift for you. Here's your gift. Now, I know it does have the reminder, right? And I know some of you are probably some really health conscious people in here, but I figure because it's half the can, it's probably half the calories too. Just saying. So I feel like it's all good. I feel like, and then they probably take less of the garbage out of it. So enjoy. Thank you. So here's the thing: is that when we stop receiving, it changed the energy on us, right? So think about clients, think about all of these things. And I have a silly example because we were up in the mountains and my mom and I were staying up in the cabins and we were doing an event or something up there. And I went to the grocery store and I bought two things. I bought a bag of ice and I bought a gift card. And so I never get asked out to like get helped out. Never. I've never. And then one day I get asked out, can I help you out with your groceries? It was that day. And I was like, he's like, can I help you out with your groceries, ma'am? And I'm like, yes, you may. And my mom looked at me like I had lost my mind. He grabbed my bag of ice. I grabbed my gift card, right? And my mom gets to the car and goes, obviously we could have done that. Why did you say that? Because I said, he wanted to give something. Because when we give, we are actually increasing our endorphins in our brains. We get a hit. Why is it my job to not receive that, right? So I was like, yes, I'll receive this, right? So just as much as it's good for giving, it's just as much as it's important as receiving, right? I know there's probably some high-powered women in here that like, I'll get my own door, right? I had my neighbor, my husband was out of town this weekend, and my neighbor came over and snowblowed my driveway, and I was so grateful. I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm sitting inside going, I really want to help. No, Teri, just receive. I really want to help. No, Teri, just receive. So I had this moment, but I'm going to invite us to start receiving more. And here's the thing is to anchor in receiving, we must start setting our intentions. What are our intentions? What are we speaking life into? We can't receive if we don't know what that is. So what are we speaking life into? More often than not, I will ask people all the time, what is it that you want? You know what they tell me? They give me a whole list of what they don't want, which is a great thing. You want to have contrast because contrast shows up in our lives to show us what we do desire and what we don't desire, right? But if we're always living in the contrast of not enoughness and lack and not, focusing on the problem, we actually create more of that. I was talking to a prospect yesterday and she's in chaos mode. And she's like, in chaos, I just hired 5 more people and da-da-da, and I'm doing this. And she's growing her business, which is crazy. It's great, but she's in chaos. Chaos creates more chaos, right? So I'm going to invite you to think about what are we spending time speaking life into? What are those intentions? Now, Oprah has said that, she has built her business based on that concept of, being able to receive and setting intentions. So if Oprah can do it, we can do it too. Yes? Yes? All right. So we're going to pop into the W here. Win more often. So that's W-I-N. So we're going to win more often. What's the best time to win more often? Yeah. It's now. Yes. So everything is energy. This desk that you're writing on has energy. If we put that desk under a high-powered microscope, it has energy. This bracelet that I'm wearing has energy. Our bodies have energy, right? Everything in our world, it has energy and is made up of energy. So is our emotional states, okay? Can anyone tell me, so in the primal emotions, so lower vibrational emotions, tell me what some of those emotions are. Shame, fear, anger, right? Guilt, right? So if you look at the vibrational scale, down below, like fear, you go into like anger, you go into frustration, you go up and up and up. It's like contentment, and you keep going up the emotional charge, which again, emotions, they have found have energy. We're emitting energy. You guys all have experienced this before. If you walk up to someone who's angry, you're kind of like, right? Versus, or you're, maybe you're in a networking event and someone's just kind of in a bad mood. You feel that. You see that, right? Now, if someone's like, oh my goodness, I can't wait, right? You're like, yeah, right? Like that, we see that. So take a guess what the 2 highest emotions are. Love, you said, whoever said that, love, yes? Authenticity is way up there too, yes. And gratitude. Love and gratitude are the highest frequency of vibrations that we have, right? And so when we are showing up in that higher vibration, we start to attract more of that desire, right? So anything wherever we're at, we're attracting. So higher vibrations, guess what? We'll actually cycle through and be more grateful for the things that are showing up in our lives. So everything that is in your life. So if you take a snapshot of your life right this second, the quality of your relationships, the car you drive, the house you live in, the type of dog, everything that you have in your life right now is a vibrational match. So congratulations, yay, you, right? And don't forget that it took you however many years to get to that place. So that's growth, right? But everything that you desire is outside of this because it's not a vibrational match yet, okay? So all we have to do is help raise the vibrations to become a match, and we call it into our lives faster, right? So if we're a higher vibration, right? And I want you to think about this. And I'm going to actually write this down on your paper. And I want you to think about this. This will be a noodle question for later. When you think about your vibrations throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, where is your where's your dominant vibrational stat, or your dominant vibration? What is your dominant vibration? In most days, are you in a place of joy and gratitude and authenticity? Are you in a place of fear, doubt, worry? Where's your where is that dominant vibration? Because that is what you're speaking life into. That is what you are creating. That is what is coming into your life, okay? So I'm going to give a quick little example here. Years ago, when I was writing a book, which I did not want to write a book, long story short, I'll tell you later. Anywho, friend of mine goes, ugh. And so I was like, oh, fine, I'll write this book. If I just write this book, will you stop stalking me and stop hounding me? She's like, yeah. So I write this book. And then she's like, in the 11th hour, she's like, you need to have someone write your foreword. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like now there's all these rules about this. And she's like, and so I'm like, okay, who's going to write my foreword? And I kept getting this download of Jack Canfield. So I'm like, I'm almost like sometimes too confident. I call up Jack Canfield's office. I'm like, hey, Veronica, how do I get Jack to write my foreword? And she's like, you're so cute. She's like, well, he gets about 200 requests per week and rarely writes forwards anymore. So I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but you should get a plan B. Now, if you know me, I had plan A or plan A. So, right? That's right? So I did all the tools that I taught you today and then some more. And then lo and behold, forward written by Jack Canfield. Now, I share that with you, not to impress you, but to impress upon you. We can create anything that we think and desire. It is within us to be able to do that, okay? So I'm going to show you this really powerful tool, but if I show you this tool, I cannot have any stink eye. Stink eye comes from judgment, so no judgment, okay? All right, oh gosh, they're like, we pinky swore earlier, what's happening? Okay, so when we get into and act as if we already created it, it creates a really powerful energy. So this is a powerful tool. So acting as if you've already achieved it. So I'm like, okay, Jack Canfield already wrote my foreword. Yay. So if I peel back the bathroom mirror, okay, it goes something like this. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Jack Canfield just wrote my foreword. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And what would happen is my daughter would run in and go, Mom, Jack Canfield just wrote your foreword. I go, I know. What she doesn't know is she was starting to help co-create. Because anytime you have more than one person share a thought, you actually square the energy of that thought. Powerful, right? Anywho, the day that I picked her up, I'm always telling my daughter, I'm like, hey, I always pick her up. I'm like, guess what? And the day that he wrote my foreword, she goes, Mom, Jack Canfield wrote your foreword. And I go, she was so in line with it energetically. Powerful stuff, right? So we can't go without today not trying to get kicked out of here. So I want everyone to stand up. And I want you to think about, hand on heart, and just think about something that you desire, that you'd like to speak life into, like you would like to call it in, right? Maybe that's, a big client deal. Maybe that's more freedom, time off. Maybe that's a romantic relationship. Maybe that's being on my show. Maybe that's whatever it is, right? So you guys all got it? If you're an empath and you're on the verge of like taking on a lot of, I think we're all empaths to some degree. If you're a heavy empath and take on people's energy, I don't need to know who you are. Just imagine just stepping into a bubble and only allowing love and light to penetrate through. You will thank me later, I promise on this, okay? So go ahead and take your hands down if you want. And I want you, and we can move around. It's a little tricky, so if you guys want to push your chairs back as far as you can. And we're going to do this for 33 seconds, okay? And we're gonna look silly. We're gonna look dumb. We're gonna look silly with it, okay? But here's the thing. So often what I have seen people do is that after about 20 seconds, they're like, oh my gosh, who is this chick? I'm just gonna sit down. I'm gonna sit down, okay? How many of us in life sit down before our targets can be achieved? How many of us give up before we even allow it to come to fruition? So no giver-uppers, okay? Yes? All right, here we go. I want you to stand up, and you can move around, you can shake people's hands, but we're gonna celebrate your achievements. We're gonna celebrate what you spoke life into, okay? Someone did this, and she actually healed herself from cancer, from doing this energetics. Right? I'm telling you, I've had some really cool success stories with this. All right, ready, set, go. Oh my gosh! And stop. Okay. All right, really quickly. Okay, really quickly. What was that like? What was that like? What does the energy feel like in this room? It's exciting. Feel your body. Close your eyes and feel your body. It's exciting, yes? I know the same way. Okay, real quick, what was that like? Popcorn style. It's amazing, okay? What else? Besides it looked right. It's what? Laughter. Yeah, laughter, yes. Laughter, I love it. It is a little awkward. It is a really awkward. Let's right. But here's the thing. You guys can go ahead and sit down. I don't know about you, but as an entrepreneur, I've had to get really awkward of getting outside my comfort zone. This is a fast way to attract. It's a fast way to create and just play with it. I get success stories all the time around this tool, some people's favorite tool. When you do this at home, just a couple little, what I want to say, public service announcements. When you do this at home, if you have pets, they will celebrate in your celebration. Okay. If you have a spouse or significant other, they're gonna think you've lost your mind. Okay. So I'm just gonna invite you to think about playing with this and just starting to see what shows up in your life. And when it does, I want you to say these 7 words. Thank you. I'll take more of that. When it shows up, whether it's money, whether it's opportunities, whether it's a clear and free diagnosis, whatever it is, thank you, I'll take more of that. So you can do 33 seconds, you can do 44 seconds. Thank you for asking that. But 33 seconds is attached to your Ascended Masters. So energetically, it just calls in some even bigger energy. So but you can also do 44. You could do 22, I guess. I like 33. So in front of you, you have a handout like this or a little card like this. If you'd like to stay in touch with me and like to connect with me, this is the fastest way to do so. So put your name, email, phone, and address. People always ask, why your address? So I'm 100% stalker. If you put your address, no, really, I'm a gift giver. So if you put your address and I can read it, okay, that's the trick. I used to try to hunt down people, and now I can't do it. If I can't read it, I don't send it. I like to give things in the mail. So if you put this in here, I'm very high tech. So if you do this, there's these little blue boxes that live on the street corner. It's called snail mail. I don't know if you've heard it before, but if you write your address, I put something in the snail mail to you. The other boxes here, if you'd love to hop on a call with me, these are people that are ready, willing, and able to really invest in their next level up. If you know that this is spoken to you and you're like, yep, that's me, I invite you to put your, check that box. If that is not you, don't check the box. Yes.
I love your free gift.
You know what? Today I have a whole case. We're just gonna click. Now, if you do put on your free gift, I'm gonna give you 3 more tools for energetics around how to clear out the brain. I have a great self-sabotage exercise that's in there, which is really great. And incorporates a little bit of tapping. And then the last one is do you know of an organization, a business for me to speak at? I used to do backyard barbecues, but that's totally sold out. So I'm just kidding. But if you know of an organization that would benefit from my message, please put their information down, and the contact is for them down below. And then with that, my friends, let's do one more thing. Stand up. I want you to put your hand on your heart. I want you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Otherwise, you can keep your eyes open. And I'm just, repeat after me. I step forward with courage. I activate my curiosities to all the possibilities. I choose me. And with that, I become unstoppable. My friends, thank you so much.